Hello everyone, what's up? My name is Saber, and this is the first of the Dark Souls boss tutorials. We're going to be going over the equipment, the boss's attack set, and then we'll take on the boss himself. So this fight takes place in the Undead Asylum, where the player will first start the game. This is a basic fight, yet it's made difficult due to the low level of the player, inexperience, and a general lack of supplies. The boss's name is the Asylum Demon. You can actually encounter him twice here. If you defeat him on the first encounter, you'll gain a weapon called the Demon's Great Hammer. If you want this weapon, feel free to go at it, but then you have no Estus, which is the health potion in Dark Souls, and you most likely have a broken weapon. It is very possible to defeat the demon like this, but it will take significantly longer. If you don't require the weapon immediately, let it go and then get it on your second playthrough, which is much easier as you start with all of your previously collected weapons and armor. For this first encounter, open these huge doors and then hug the left wall at a sprint. You'll come to this door and you'll have to slip inside, and then the gate will close behind you, cutting you off from the boss and letting you gain the supplies that you need. At this point, just go through the asylum as usual and I'll see you at the fog gate. Okay, now we're here at the boss fog and we'll go over what we have in terms of equipment. There isn't much to go over. You should have all of your starting armor on, a new unbroken weapon, which depends on your class, and a shield that you picked up from bodies on the way here. You should also have something called an Estus flask. You can see it as a golden bottle at the bottom left of the screen. This is the health potion of the game, and chances are this will be a massive help. If you don't have these three things, retrace your steps and retrieve them, along with getting the Estus flask from a guy named Oscar of Astora. Let's take a look at the Asylum Demon's attack list before we start. The Asylum Demon is weak to bleeding and magic, as well as fire damage. You don't have the first two this early in the game, but it is possible to have fire damage if you start off with the Pyromancer class. If you are, then equip your magic now, otherwise don't worry about it. The demon has 7 moves, and I'll go over each of them as well as the favorable way to either block or dodge the attack. Okay, so the first move is called the Hammer Drive. This attack is slow and it's really good for you if he uses it. You'll see the demon hold the hammer with both hands and raise it high above his head vertically. He's going to slam it down and cause a very small shockwave. For this attack, put your weapon into both hands using the Y button, and then head behind him. As long as you aren't in front of him, then you're good. Get in a few swings here, and then switch back to single-handing your weapon. The second is a ground pound move. It's also slow, and the demon faces you no matter where you are, but it does not actually move anywhere except for straight up and straight down. He'll jump up and hover for a moment using his wings, then drop down in an attempt to crush the player. Swap your weapon to two-hand and either take 2 steps back or do a single roll backwards. After he's landed, you have time to get 1, maybe 2 swings in before you should switch back. The third is a simple swinging move, but can be deadly if you're hit with it. The Asylum Demon will swing his hammer horizontally in front of him in a sweeping motion. This has a small shockwave, but nothing of concern. Blocking is unlikely, so to do this, you'll want to stay at his back at all times. If you find yourself in front of him and he's winding up to do the sweep, all you have to do is roll towards where he's swinging from, aiming for underneath the arm. If you roll the opposite way, the hammer is likely to catch you in the back. Fourth is similar to the swinging move, but this time it's a double attack. After the demon does the first swing, it'll change hands and do the same move in the opposite direction. To avoid this, do the exact same thing as the other one, but make sure that you continue on until you're directly behind him by the time he's doing the second swing. The Asylum Demon will occasionally do a scooping motion that is close to his body. A really easy way to avoid this is to either step or roll backwards. Probably one of the most deadly moves that the demon will do is a hammer smashing move. This attack is only done when the player is a fair distance away from the demon, so try and stay within close range if possible. He will raise the hammer high above his head and bring it down really fast. It's near impossible to block this attack and will cause your character to be slammed to the ground and have to take the time to stand up. It is possible to dodge if you either dodge sideways or if you're at a safe distance, you can roll backwards as well. This move does, however, follow the player slightly, so getting hit even if you dodge is still a possibility. The last move is a leaping smashing move that's very similar to the last one shown. Dodging is the same, however for this one, the backwards roll is unlikely to work as the leap gives the demon a little bit more range, enough to probably hit you even if you back up. So those are the moves. Now you hopefully will be able to recognize what move is coming when, and how to respond to it. A last warning is that if you stand on the platform for too long staring into this guy's eyes, It'll jump up and then destroy the ground while you're standing. Getting hit with the hammer and then following that distance will almost always result in your death, so make sure you move quickly once you begin. Once you cross, press the Y button to two-hand your weapon and merely walk fast off the platform, and press right bumper while you're falling to perform a dropping attack. This will take off about 1/3 of the demon's health right away. Once you land on the ground, go back to one-handing your weapon. An exception to this is if one of the moves we covered is done, that gives you enough time to hit it without it being too risky. Stay at his back as much as possible and slash him in the backside until he goes down. Here's a clip of the full fight to show you how I fought the boss. And with that, that's the end of the guide. You'll receive your humanity and the big Pilgrim's Key, which will open the door to the next part of the game. I hope this in-depth guide helped you really understand the Asylum demon, what he does, and how to beat him. If you liked this guide, make sure to leave a like and a comment below and subscribe for future content. I'll see you next time.